Have you figured out your niche? Are you helping adding value to other people's lives? Then you're in the right place. Welcome to Munira's Musings with your host, co-author of Conversations with Top Real Estate Investors Volume 3, Munira Zahabi.
Greetings from Chicagoland. This is Munira, your host and friend for Munira's Musings. Welcome to another episode. Our guest today is Andy Horry. He's calling us all the way from UK. Hi, Andy. Thank you so much for being on our show.
Hi. Yeah, thanks for having me on.
So let me tell you a little bit about what Munira's Musings is and who I am. I am Munira Zahabi. I live in Chicago. I am the niche navigator, and I help coaches and business owners find and market to their niche. The purpose of having a niche is to have a destination of where you want to go. And I, with my compass, help you to get there. And having a niche is like having your superpower right now. You can change your niches afterwards, but right now, when you start a business, you need a niche. So that's a good thing. Munira's Musings is a show that came about because I have met so many people who had found their niche and they were marketing to their niche. And everybody has a story. So why not listen to Andy's story? Andy, welcome again. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I kind of help spiritual entrepreneurs to express themselves limitlessly and embrace their unique gifts, because I think we've all got our own unique gifts that we can offer the world, and so we can be of service to people around us and offer our own value. And I think that's always from expression that we do that. So there's so many different ways we can express ourselves. It doesn't necessarily need to be something that's like creative, but I do enjoy creative things. So, yeah, I like to focus on the topic of expression and the topic of spiritual development as well. So those two together is like the two main things that I focus on.
Well, that's good. So you look very young, and you sound very young. So how did you find your niche?
It feels like it kind of happened gradually, I guess, in terms of figuring out what I enjoyed doing and what I could find I was skillful at. And it just made sense to put my passion and my skills together to be kind of like help people to create content and express themselves. Because I've always been a creative person and enjoyed creative things and enjoyed expressing myself artistically. So then putting that together with the spiritual stuff, which I'm interested in as well.
Okay. So you say you're creative. What have you created?
Well, the biggest thing I've done is a documentary, which was about it was about music. So it was about a subgenre of heavy metal called black metal.
Do you play any instrument?
Yeah, I can play a guitar, and I've composed my own songs and stuff with like music software, and use like programmed drums and stuff like that, and bass and stuff like that. So I can do a few different things, but guitar's like kind of like my main thing. And I've learned little bits about drums and other things just from like kind of being passionate about music and listening to what they're doing and figuring it out for myself. Like a lot of the time. So yeah,
let me ask you this. So this spiritual creativity that you have, when did you start? I mean, I know it was unknown and it happened gradually, but when did you start becoming so creative? I mean, was this something that you were doing in school, or because you look very young? So I don't know if it's a politically correct to ask you your age, but we'll leave it that you look young. But so was it something that you started in school, or, I want to know the gradual journey that you took, the path,
Yeah. I think it was definitely. I think it was before. It might have been before school. I think maybe, or pretty close to. It was definitely in primary school at least. So it wasn't. I had a friend that played music as well, so I was inspired by him, and then also inspired by my dad as well. So it was a bit of mixture of that. Those two are the things that come up in my mind. So I had people around me playing music.
So you started with music, and then when did you start composing your own songs?
I think it was probably about 15 or 14 when I actually started writing songs.
Do you still write songs?
Yeah, but just not. I've not been doing it as much as I was before. But I've also been writing a lot of poetry quite recently, so that's another thing I've been doing.
Ah, poet by heart. Now, is it romantic or what is your poetry?
Well, you could say it's similar to that because it's about spirituality and love and stuff. So I guess some people might think it's romantic, but because I guess it depends on your interpretation of it. But for me, it's just about universal love and unconditional love and non-duality and those kind of things.
Okay, all right. So So you started playing the music, you started working with music, and then did you go to any schools or, to learn music? Did you take classes or to play your guitar and then the drums?
Yeah, I did some classes in primary school, but I actually started off by playing violin when I was in primary school. That was the first instrument. Or at least, well, I kind of learned a bit of guitar at home, but my dad taught me a little bit. Then I started learning violin at school because they didn't do guitar lessons at school, so I just started doing violin and tried that out. And then I ended up going back to guitar again when I was in high school. And then at the end of near to the end of being at high school, I was getting guitar lessons again, or a little bit, and also drum lessons as well. So I've done a little bit of drum lessons as well.
Okay, so
BTEC A level as well for music.
Say that again, sorry.
I also did BTEC A level music in sixth form as well. So I did two different things. Yeah.
Okay. So you've taken a journey and it's gradual, you've grown, and now you're taking this gift and sharing it with people and teaching them. So tell me, are you a coach?
Yeah, intuitive coach.
And so what does an intuitive coach do, and how do you help people with your gifts?
I think the kind of emphasis is on holding space and empowering the other person, which I think it's definitely an important part of all kinds of different types of coaching. But I guess for me, I like to emphasize if someone's intuitive on the call as well, bring that out and make sure I use it to the best of their capability for them to be able to honour what's coming up for them in their own intuition, and then also people that are as intuitive, try to get them in touch with it.
Okay, I'm a little bit lost. So tell me about intuitive. I'm sorry, maybe I'm not getting.
So
what is that? Yeah.
It's kind of like that. It's kind of like your higher self or your inner voice. That's sometimes for a lot of people it's hard to hear. But when you start to get quiet and you start to breathe deeply and slow yourself down, you can start to have certain feelings that also then kind of end up in thoughts. So it's usually the feeling where it starts at, and then you might have thoughts after that. But sometimes people try to just get to the thought and it don't really seem to come out in the same way. But when they attach to some kind of feeling first, or like feel some kind of feeling, then it leads to something that's important for them, and they say, oh, I really needed that actually. So then I think you can tell when it's intuition because it's really relevant to their journey.
Wow, that's deep. I took a few deep breaths too, just to get to what you were saying. But that's profound. Okay, so how many people do you think need what you are sharing?
I think when it comes to needing it, I like to tell people I don't think anybody needs it. I think that it's just, do you want it? I think it's how much do you want it, and do you want it? It's not that people need it, so to speak. It's more about, like, you think about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, there's needs on there, like the physical needs and need for connection and things like that. And then after that is self-actualization. So once you've got all those needs, you can kind of argue if self-actualization is a need or not. It's at the top of the needs, but it's after you've got all the other basic needs done. So if you've not got them all met, then you might not want it, the coaching. If you've got all these other needs met, then you're probably going to be more likely to want it. But if it depends on where you are, I guess. If you've not got those needs met, or there's something in the way, then you might not actually want it. And it's more about the wanting it. It's not about if I think you need it or not, because that's my opinion. But it's more about their desire to want to have coaching. Because if they don't have a desire to want to change, then it won't be powerful, and they won't be able to make a change, because it's their decision, not mine.
Okay. Well, so the reason I am a little confused is that the fact is that there's so many people who don't know about this, right? So how are you making people aware that intuition is, everybody knows intuition, but the thing is they haven't tapped into that energy or that focus as much, right? So how do you make people aware that there's something out there that's awesome, that can change your life, if you will?
I think shifting perspectives is one way of kind of changing reality, and then intuition might come up when I do that. When I start to shift your reality, you might start to hear things that don't sound the same as your thoughts, and then you start to think, "What's that? That's a bit different to what I usually hear in my head." It's like I say, it's usually more of a feeling that then might lead to a thought, but you might start to feel something. It might feel like a voice as well. So I think it's different for some people's experiences, how they describe it, but it's just something, it's some kind of inner wisdom or higher self, some people call it. So like when I start to change perspectives of how you're viewing the world, that gets through the surface level stuff and into the deeper realms, and then that's when you can start to get in touch with your intuition, when you dive deep.
Okay, so people listening are still learning about this. What are 3 things that you can share about this, and advice that you can share with them?
I guess the first one would be to slow down and allow yourself to listen, or just allow yourself to be in silence, really, and slow down, allow yourself to have time to just be. I think that's one of the most fundamental parts of listening to your intuition. And then also to focus on your body, and notice any sensations throughout your body, to notice any stiffness or any kind of thing like that. And then that can sometimes guide you to your intuition, because those parts of tension can be tools to show you something about that you're not aware of. So when we're not aware of something, then it becomes, we create tension and sort of stuck energy. So the energy wants to flow out, but then it's stuck without the awareness on it, because everything in existence wants to be seen. So your body is a good tool to kind of scan your senses, and then kind of that can sometimes lead to intuition as well. And also just in terms of meditation, that's kind of a tool in meditation and mindfulness, because your body, once you get into your body, it can usually be a gateway to get to your consciousness and be more present and less in the mind. So that's number 2. And I've got to think what number 3 would be. I guess number 3 would be to take courageous action. Don't overthink things. Take action based on your heart, not on your mind.
Take action on your heart, but not on your mind.
Yeah.
Give me an example.
So
Usually we think up here, right?
Yeah.
We think up here. So it's like, give me an example so, we can relate.
Yeah, so if you feel something, you say if he said, would you like to, I'm actually thinking about sometimes the shadow side, about the shadow, like Carl Jung talks about the shadow side. We hide everything in the shadow that we don't want people to, that we don't want to look at. And then people say someone might be playing guitar, and I've told myself I can't play guitar, maybe because somebody in my life told me not to play guitar. If this was the case, which I am allowed to play guitar, but like, if I told myself that and I saw somebody playing the guitar, then my shadow side would be triggered. So then I would be like, oh, that's not fair. He gets to play guitar, but I don't get to play guitar, so I could get angry at him. So like,
Okay.
so then that's the shadow side. But what the shadow side is, what he wants to be looked at. So then that's an opportunity for you to go follow your heart, even though it's a trigger and it seems like it's something that you don't want. It's actually there for you to go into your heart.
I understand. Oh, thank you. That makes sense. Now that I think about it. So you're right. There's three things, slow down. I understand that many people just want to go. But I like the fact that you said slow down, because that brings, it kind of makes sense, and I was talking to somebody else the other day, and what she said was, it's like the hare and the tortoise, right? And if you're on the go all the time, then you need to take a breather and just slow down and make sure that whatever you are onto or whatever you're doing, it makes sense. The second one is, you said, what did you say the second one was?
It's about feeling your body.
Yeah, feeling your body. So the thing is, many of us don't pay attention. There are many cultures out there who think the body is, what is it? It's a temple. They call it a temple. So body is a temple. But the thing is that we don't give it enough respect, if you will. So I like that what you said, that because that's profound too. Is like, take everything that you have and bring it from inside out. There's lots of literature and lots of thought on that right now, that bring it from inside out. But the thing is, nobody talks about the body, so that's huge. That's huge. And then third is, think from your heart, not from your mind.
Yep.
So now there could be arguments. We could have a debate on this, and it would be an awesome debate. But the thing is, that gives me an idea. We should set this up as well. But the thing is, we would like to hear the thought process of that as well. But the thing is, take it one step at a time, slow down. That's what the message I'm getting right now.
I think I would say that you must use your heart as the master and use your mind as the servant.
That's cute, yes. So tell me, how do people find you?
So I've got a Facebook page called Coach Andy Horry, and also my regular page as well. You can follow that. Add me as a friend. And also I've got a YouTube channel called Being with Life. So you can search for that on YouTube. And I've got a few interviews on there, and also I've got some videos of myself talking about some topics in relation to spirituality, and just being with life. That's what the kind of message of that is. Because I've also got another Facebook page called Being with Life as well. So and there's a website called, and it's beingwithlife.wordpress.com, and it's kind of a blog and just a website with different sections, not just a blog, but it's kind of like a bit like a blog. It's also got poetry on there that I've written and things. It's got interviews on there as well, a few written interviews. So there's a few places to follow my work, Being with Life and Coach Andy Horry page. And you can book a session with me, a discovery call on the Facebook page. if you want to experience what it's like to have an intuitive coaching session.
That's great. So Andy Horry, or Go Andy Horry on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Your YouTube channel is called Be With Life.
Yep.
That's profound, right? I don't know how you came up with that, but that's really good. Thank you. And so, folks, he's given us pretty good advice. The thing is, you have to be intuitive, but you have to instigate the intuitiveness from within. Take a free session, learn from Andy, and see if this is something that you want. He's a coach that he's bringing out the creativity in you, right? And he's helping people along that journey. Go ahead, check his YouTube channel out and look at it. See, you'll learn a few things. I learned a lot today. I didn't know any of this stuff, but thank you so much for being on my show. I appreciate it. And and you know what, folks, if you like this video, go ahead, like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We are also on YouTube. We have a Facebook page called the Munira's Musings, and we also on YouTube by the same name. And we look forward to seeing you there. Thank you, and over and out. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Munira's Musings with your host, Munira Zahabi. If you enjoyed our show, please share and subscribe to this channel. And for more content, please join our Facebook group called Navigate to Your Niche.